I'm Tom Bowling, and I want to share with you some ideas here today and talk about being efficient as far as merchandising and designing and just, what happens in a real flower shop. And as you see on the table, no matter how good, how much you plan, you're going to have bits and pieces, stems, little bits, etc. And bottom line is, this is your profit. So we want to make sure that we are a profitable flower shop operation. Team Floral is great at keeping profitability number one. So we're going to use this product and figure out something to do with our collection. And by the way, the collection is called Hopeful Harmony. And soft colors, a little bit of impact, but nothing so strong that you go, ooh, that's not going to work. So I've started with a cylinder, and I had all these little pieces and parts of the dry foam. Well, I've tucked those in very deep into the bottom of the cylinder itself. Then I'm going to add a little bit of mossing into it, just to be on the safe side. Going to tuck in, and you know what? That might end up showing, which is absolutely fine, not an issue. And so I'm going to perimeter moss, meaning I'm taking the moss all around the outside edge. Now I've got some foliage, I've got onesies here, I've got a little bit of product that was left on a bush. So we're going to start off and use this product and turn these pieces and parts into profit, because that's the name of the game. We want to be profitable as a retail operation. So I'm going to dissect these. Dusty Miller, all of this from Pioneer Imports and Wholesale. The components here. I'm going deep into the floral foam, almost working below the lip line of the container itself, which is kind of cool, totally different than what we're used to seeing here. Breaking those apart. When I do so, instead of leaving that raw stem, I'm going to take my pliers or needle nose, bend that over. So number one, it's not going to hit anybody. Number two, it's going to hold that component in place. Grouping light kinds of material in a growing area. So I'm almost like I'm planting this cylinder. All right, starting to love this. And I like the fact that you're looking down into the composition versus looking into onto it sideways like a centerpiece. It becomes interactive this way. All right, my hydrangea. Gonna bring that foliage, slide that up so it actually collars. Again, deep into the design. You can see what's happening so far. Yes, you can see it from the side, but really when you look down into it, it becomes more enjoyable, more interactive. Pieces and parts of foliage. Again, we're not throwing these away. We want to make sure that we're planning a composition that absorbs this material. And how many of these, can you make during these times where it's, you're not quite as busy that you might be during a design team? Even if you're a team of one, get out and make these into little compositions. They don't have to be huge. Everything doesn't have to be large, as you'll see in just a minute. And we're not taking a lot of time on this. That's the other key, that we want to make sure that these are quick, efficient, easy, one of a kinds. That's the other thing too. In the past, I've talked about using a 3x5 card, writing down the components, everything in here, that identifies how much is in it, what it is, and the stock number from the Hopeful Harmony collection. These I'm taking an opposite stance. I'm saying, you know what? Make it. It is what it is. It's a onesie. If it's not a duplication. So enjoy it for what it is. some of this great grass material. That's the thing about working with Pioneer Imports and Wholesale, is that you're going to find all kind of fun things, not just flowers, but foliages and permanents from just about everything that you need to make a composition work for you. You're going to find at Pioneer Imports and Wholesale. So peruse the catalog and see what they have not only identified in a particular collection, but also what they have as far as pieces and parts. Oh, I'm liking this look. I want to add a little bit more impact, taking my knife blade, holding that grass in place. The onion grass is a nice addition. Gives me a little bit more visual freedom, but you can see that when you leave it straight out, a grass like this, you kind of shoot your eye out. So I want it to be a little bit more fluid, and so I'm adding the curve into that. How fun is this? I'm loving it. Now I can refer back to my other cards to get pricing on this. So just because it's quote scraps doesn't mean we're giving it away. We're absolutely not. We still have to charge full value for everything that goes into the composition itself. Now I can leave this as it is, and it definitely has a color harmony that's softer into it. It's called monochromatic, where there's tints, tones, and shades of the same color, and it's the easiest color harmony to sell. But I want to kind of kick it up just a little bit more. So I'm just going to add, like, when you're cooking, you would add spice just to give it a little, notch it up a bit. That's what I'm doing here. Going to notch this design just a little bit. Now you also notice that I chose to use a container that has the rose gold into it. Gold is great. Gold tends to be a little bit more holiday-esque, where the rose gold tends to be more home decor. So that's why I'm choosing to use the rose gold versus the stronger golds or the copper. And you know what? As I look at this, doesn't need it. So guess what? This is the start of my next composition. So now that we have this, and these are the little pieces and parts that were down into the bottom here. Now let's add this into our collection that we have set up over here. Because telling a story, merchandising is so important. People need to be able to see and understand how that's going to relate to their own environment. So as you'll notice here, I'm telling a story, and I love the fact that we've done a styling, again, monobotanical, meaning one plant material, or in this case, floral material. Add a little bit of the onion grass just to give it some wow into it. Monobotanical little nosegay, as you see, combined and collared with the Dusty Miller. Tight, beautifully displayed. It can be secured, or in this case, it can be a drop-in. And I gotta tell you, these are one of my most very favorites. These are called sit-abouts. I love that term, isn't that fun? Sit-abouts. It means that it's just a little styling that sits here, sits there, sits about somewhere. And the fact is, this is very similar to what I just shared with you earlier about taking pieces and parts. Look how many onesies are actually in here, but how great they look put into the small little organic container from Pioneer Imports and Wholesale. And then over here on this side here, we've got a little bit more design look to it, but you can see that hopeful harmony just brings us a soothing impact to our eye, and it makes us take a deep breath and appreciate the moment. Thank you so much, Pioneer Imports and Wholesale, for providing the product, and also too for Team Floral to teach us how to be profitable as we're doing our daily business.